Hello, everyone, and welcome to Grow Your Brand with Amanda. And today I have with me the lovely Donna Henley. Hello, Donna.
Hi, Amanda. How are you doing?
I'm brilliant. Thank you. Thank you for joining me. And Donna is a business strategist, and we're going to hear a lot more about Donna in a minute. But before we get started, I want to ask her my nosy questions. So, firstly, Donna, do you have a favorite motivational song?
Um, I'm gonna be kind of a weirdo. Like, it's not really a song. I really like instrumental music, and it just fits for like everything. So I'll be listening to it whenever I feel like it. So, for example, I was in town the other day, and I was had my headphones on, and then one of the Hogwarts theme songs came on, and I just felt extremely magical for no reason. And I don't know, it just always does it for me. So it's not really a song, but, but
They're
that's what works
masterpieces,
for
aren't
me.
they?
They're brilliant. I
My
love them.
daughter's a musician, and we listen to all of that, and we've seen all the performances. They're just masterpieces, and it's that time of year, isn't it, when all the films come out? And yeah,
Yeah,
no, I
yeah,
couldn't agree with you more. They're just absolutely superb, and
yeah. It just does something to me. I can't even describe it.
yeah, yeah, they are. They're magical. Oh, yeah, I totally agree with that one. And do you have a motivational quote at all?
So, yeah, it's kind of like Patchy. I've just got a story for everything, apparently. So, when I was 19, I was at a John Mayer concert and he did a little speechy thing before he went and sung. And he said, and this is the bit that I remember, so I'll explain it because it won't make any sense. He says, I want names. And it's always stuck in my head. And what he was saying was, if you feel like you can't do something, like give me a name. Give me a name who said that. Or if you feel like you're too stupid or I don't know, not smart enough or whatever it is, give me a name. And nine times out of 10, you can't give them one. And it's always stuck with me throughout all these years. And I always come back to it, even if I think I've forgotten it, then I'll be like, yeah, what are the names? And I have it on a little note on my phone. And yeah, I don't know. It just really
I love that.
makes sense.
That's such a good way to reframe negative thinking because we all do it. And you think,
Yeah,
oh, I'm not good at this, I can't do that. But to name where that came from or name who gave you that belief, that I'm going to do that. That's brilliant. That's genius.
yeah. I like I said, well, it's been many years since that happened, and I just always remember it because I think it really shaped a lot of the way I thought around that. Because I mean, I've like anyone, I've been plagued by self-doubt over the years, and I
Mhm.
just always come back to it, and I'm like, yeah, that's valid. Like, where has this come from? And then you can explore it and ignore that.
Oh, that's definitely clicked in my head. That is genius. I wish I'd known that when I was 19. It would have saved me hours of heartache. No, it's really clever. That's a really good way to reframe negative thinking. Thank you for that. Honestly, I'm really grateful. I'm
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
going to employ
Oh,
that.
I'm glad it hit you as well. It's
Yeah.
like I said, it's just this little thing. I bet he probably doesn't even remember it, but it really, really stuck with me. So
Yeah. Oh wow, that is brilliant. I love it. And my final question, because I'm nosy, do you read? And if you do you have a favorite book?
yeah, I love reading. My favorite book, it's got to be The Hunger Games. I just love it. It's great.
Yeah, I haven't read the book, but myself, my daughter, and my husband, oh, we've watched them on repeat over and over. They're probably, I mean, I love movies anyway, but I could watch them endlessly for the rest of my life.
Yeah,
If there were no other movies, it's those.
those would be it. They are a really, really good adaptation. I mean,
Yeah.
you know how the typical book to movie thing goes, but they're probably one of the best ones I've seen. But I equally love the movie. I have a special place for books, but I love the movies as well.
Yeah, and that is hard to make that transition, isn't it? But
It is.
oh, they are magical. I love. Yeah, I'm such a geek. No, excellent choice. Yeah, excellent
Me as
choice.
well, me as well.
I'll
And
totally
I've
get
got to
rid of
say, I just kind of have a book crush on Peter Mellark. He's just like such a great character.
I know, I know. Yeah, I'm just so invested in the whole thing. And even when I watch it again from the start, because we have like these mini marathons, it's as if I've tricked my brain into not remembering what's coming. But each time I feel the horror of it.
Yeah, it
That's a spoiler for
does.
anyone that's
It
not
still
watched it. But
gets you.
yeah,
That's the mark of a great movie, isn't it? But yeah, love
they're
them all.
such an original concept. I mean, maybe others will disagree with, but in my world, it was just so original. And my favorite thing, because I love like drama and psychological thrillers, I love it when I can't guess the ending.
Mm.
Love it when there's surprises, and that I think that was it because it was to me such an original concept. But I could just watch it on repeat forever, and it's brilliant. And I love Jennifer Lawrence. Who doesn't love her? I love her because she doesn't take herself seriously in a
Yeah, it's
funny
nice.
way.
It's refreshing. I
Yeah.
feel like I feel a similar way to you. Like it's I what I like about it is okay, maybe a fight to the death game is unrealistic. Although is it? I don't know. But you know, it feels unrealistic. And so in that regard, no. But I feel like everything else around it just makes sense. Like I really like how Katniss didn't even want to be the hero. And you know, she's obviously got trauma. This sounds really messed up. I like how she's just a real person and
Mhm.
responds normally to like situations and stuff. I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. It's just no, you're right. It's such a metaphor for for the real world and maybe the business world. We all start out, we don't know what we're doing, but we're facing all these struggles.
Yeah.
We just have to face it. And and sometimes you got no choice. You've got to be resilient. You've got to come up with new ideas and be creative. Yeah, you've definitely given me a lot to think about. That's amazing. That is so cool. So tell me about you and your business and what it is that you do.
So I work with people, business owners who are kind of stuck in like self-doubt and they know deep down that there's something in there, that they've got a business in there. And I think they know also deep down that they can do it, but they just get really stuck in that spiral of like, you know, they get started with something and they're like, oh man, I think I'm actually rubbish at this, or you know whatever it is, and then they just like freeze up, or they're kind of trickling along and not growing to the next level. And I give them the support with real strategy, but then we also really work on what I call radical self-acceptance, because I think that's super important and a lot of people don't talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so good. And I think whenever you are starting a business, we can all give ourselves a million reasons not to do it. Was finding that
Definitely.
reason and that's you. You are the reason to do it. And have you found any common themes? Is there usually
Yeah, there's a lot. Like the main one is that the people that get stuck in these spirals, it's normally from some kind of like block where they've told themselves these stories about why they can't do this, why they can't do that. And so a lot of the time you have to kind of dig a little bit and keep on, you have to keep on at it. This is the thing is with this, it's not like you just go, oh right, yeah, I can do this. The end. Like this is it's an ongoing thing. Like so it is really hard work and it can be really difficult for some people. But a lot of them have been telling themselves these stories about themselves, why they can't do this or why they can't do that. And sometimes they're not even aware of it. You know, it's not even conscious. Like you'll know that you're sort of nervous or scared, but you don't really know why. Why do you tell yourself that? Why do you feel that way? And so there's a lot of quite emotional stuff that can come up sometimes. Even to the point where it's like childhood trauma and stuff. And I'm not a therapist, but like you know we can talk about it and stuff, and we can look how that translates into business. And I've noticed that once people become aware of it, not resolved, because as I said, it's an ongoing process, but once people become aware of what's in their way and you can start to rewrite those stories, that's when the magic happens. You just see so much growth and so much movement forward, and they feel amazing. And then obviously I feel amazing because they're doing great and they're feeling amazing. So I think that's like the biggest common theme is that when once they understand what it is, that opens up, and that's when you see the real change.
Yeah, that's so interesting because, and I think you're right, you don't have to fix it, but if you can identify it and you have that awareness of it, knowing that that's what's causing you that block, I think that awareness gives you the ability to move on. You think, oh, this happened when I was little, but I'm okay with it and I can move on. But not being aware that that's what it is and having someone like you to kind of dig a little bit deeper and asking all the why, and identifying those mindset blocks. People underestimate the value of those things, I think, and having been through that process myself, and discovering things about myself that didn't really know, existed or that were relevant.
Yeah.
And I think you're really fortunate if you can first of all, identify that you need to do that work and then finding someone like you that'll help you do that work. It can be life-changing, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is one of the things I say as well. It's I let people borrow my permission because sometimes you can't give it to yourself yet. And until you can, you need it from somewhere. And a lot of us will seek it externally if we can't give it to our, well, we will. We'll find it from somewhere. So if we're not getting it from ourselves, like we'll look for it in the wrong places. So like, I mean, I'm guilty of this. You know, I'm not saying like, oh, look at me. You know, like I used to look for qualifications. I'd be like, well, if I just get this one more thing, then that will tell me that I'm good enough, that I know how to do this, and then I'll just be able to do it. It never fixed anything, you know. And really what I needed was never from any external source, although they certainly helped in the meantime. But because it doesn't really fix what's actually going on, they're only ever going to be a temporary fix. And until you do that work and realize what's really stopping you and start making progress on that, you're going to keep looking elsewhere. But then when you do realize what's going on and you start making those changes, and even just like we said, just the awareness of it can make a massive difference because you can notice it in real time. But that's when I see the big change. So I always like to say, like, I'll give you the permission. Like, you don't need to, get a new qualification. You don't need to like have a new boyfriend or whatever it is. Like, no one else needs to tell it. Borrow mine until you're in a position where you can give it to yourself and you don't need it from anyone else anymore. And it's an unlimited supply because you know that you can do it.
Oh wow, I love that. That it's just I love how you described that because I can identify with it. And I think when you mentioned the qualifications, for example, you're looking at validation, you're looking for that piece of paper. Oh, here's proof I can do
Yeah.
that thing. And that's concrete proof. And one of the things I learned not that long ago, having gone through that process, I have a journal and I had to it was to cope with perfectionism because I was driving myself
Relate to
crazy with it.
that.
Yeah, completely. And I realized I was constantly trying to, I was working so hard to make sure everything was perfect to, oh, look how good I am. Look, I'm really good at this. And one part of the process was documenting my successes to evidence that I had already proved that I could do those things. But I also was doing a lot of qualifications and because I needed that piece of paper to say, oh, look at me, look at me. But I love the way you reframed that as in it's not necessary. You don't have to keep because look how exhausting that is.
Yeah.
And and unless you accept yourself for and acknowledge your experience, acknowledge your achievements, acknowledge your past successes, you're going to spend the rest of your life constantly seeking external validation. It's never going to come.
Yeah, and you're always going to move the goalposts on yourself, because you're always going to be like, okay, yeah, so I am now qualified, blah, blah, blah. Okay, right, what's next? Okay, how many feedback have I got that said good? All right, I've got 10, now I want 20. Like, there's no end goal.
Yeah.
There's no finishing line, and you can keep going forever and ever, and you will.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, like, because what you're looking for is never going to come from competing in those races.
Mhm.
It's only inside yourself, and it's only when you stop and say, hold on a minute, like, actually I didn't need those things. And don't get me wrong, like, there's certainly a place for qualifications and things like
Mhm.
that.
Oh yeah,
There's
yeah.
nothing wrong with those things, and they're great, especially when you're dealing with like a psychiatrist. Of course I want a qualified psychiatrist,
Yeah.
but you've got to have both. And I think that's the reason why I got to this point with combining the two and actually seeing self-acceptance as not just something that's nice to have, but as an essential strategy. Because the common saying, everyone says it, self-doubt kills more dreams than
Mhm.
failure ever will. It's so true. And I don't actually believe you can really get to a certain point past. I mean, I know you can sort of skate by, and that's definitely true. I've done it. But at some point you've got to say, right, do I want to grow this? Is this what I want? And this is specific to business, but I think it applies everywhere. But you've got to look at it and sort of say, is this going to be more than that? And in order for that to happen, you have to believe in yourself. You have to say, yeah, I can do it. You have to be, was it all the kids are being like, you have to be delusionally confident in
Absolutely. Yeah.
like, just embrace it, and you're going
Yeah.
to sound a little bit crazy, but those people that sounded crazy are all going to be the ones like, you know what are their names, like the rich people, all the really, successful business owners, Bill Gates and like Richard Branson and stuff. Like, people would have probably thought they were crazy too. Well, those people that thought they were crazy are like, oh damn,
Mm-hmm.
So, but you've got to get to that point where it comes from within, because like you said, it is exhausting,
Yeah.
and being in business is hard. Like, there's no way around it. You'll have really great days for sure, but you're going to have really horrible days too, really difficult days where you're questioning why you're doing this, when you feel like it's not working, and it's got to come from somewhere. And if it's not coming from within, you're so much more likely to give up. And also, just because I feel like it really translates into what you do. If you don't believe in yourself, like, no one else is really gonna, I think it shows.
It does show, and we all want more clients, we all want more business, and if you don't have that self, you need rock solid self-belief because
Yeah,
it comes out in your content and how you show up. And it will leak through and everything if you're not 100% sure on
it
what you're
does. Yeah,
doing.
people can tell. They
Yeah, they really
absolutely
can
can.
tell. And th those people that you mentioned, those successful business owners, unmistakably, that's what they all had. And I think you probably need you need that twist of I think you need to be thought of as a little bit delulu to
Yeah,
coin the young people. You
yeah,
need that. And I know, like, family members and friends, they've got to look at you to think you're not quite there because you've got to be, and they're not your ideal client. That's how I rationalize it in my mind.
yeah.
I think they
That's
don't
true.
understand what I'm doing because they're not my ideal client, and that's what I cling to because I think nobody set up a business and everyone, oh, that's great. Oh, she's doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Every
I
one of
have
us thinks
met
that,
a
yeah.
person that's
Yeah.
happened to.
And that was somebody managed to switch that in my head. They're not your ideal client. They're not going to understand what you do. And so I can happily sort of trundle on. But I do think you need that edge of maybe I'm not quite, that what's the word I'm looking for? Just that little edge. But I think maybe that's what it is that entrepreneurs have in common because we keep going, we keep trying, we keep doing 99 iterations of the same thing over and over again and
Yeah,
tweaking and refining. And they're the ones that survive. And I think that's the common
yeah,
denominator. But you absolutely need that rock solid belief in yourself because if you don't have it, you won't succeed, but your clients absolutely have to believe it. And the only one that's going to convince them is you.
yeah, absolutely. And if you think as well, like, really, if you don't believe in yourself and then you're going out and asking for the sale, like,
Yeah.
I feel like that's a bit, I'm not going to say dishonest, because, it's a bit of a tricky road. Like, sometimes you're going to have days where you're kind of feeling a bit crappy. So it's not that it's dishonest, but like, really, if you don't feel convinced that actually you can deliver what you're saying, or that you're really good at this, or that they actually need what you're selling, like, yeah, it is a little bit about integrity, because you need to have that. And for me, like, integrity is important. And I think that's why for a long time I struggled, because I was always like, wait, am I sure? Like, I don't know. And then I'd be, unwilling to try and sell, because I'm like, yeah, but I don't really know. And then now it's just a 180, because I'm like, actually, people really need this, and
Mhm.
I see it all the time. Um, when you're on socials, or like when you're at events or whatever, and you just see it, and I see it because I was there. It's
Yeah.
not. It's not kind of like secret information or whatever. Like, I was there for a long time. Like, I started my business 4.5 years ago as a VA, and that went great.
Mhm.
And it's like we were saying before, I've got testimonials, I got referrals, I've been out of a traditional job. I haven't worked a traditional job for like 3 years. So clearly it's all going well.
Mhm.
And I've earned more than I ever did at my job, but that wasn't good enough for me. Like, I just kept on being like, oh, well, now I need to become this, and now I need to have that. Oh, but actually I need to have 10 clients before, you know, and you just get caught up in that. And I think that's the difference,
Mhm.
is because that part of me was just always second guessing. And then when I wanted to move into teaching what I'd learned, so teaching the strategy side, because you learn so much as a VA, and you see so much behind the scenes, and I really enjoyed that part, and so that I wanted to go into like sharing that. especially with my own personal story with work. But that's a tangent for another time. But when I was learning about that, and I think, okay, yeah, I really, really want to do this. Actually, this is something I'm really passionate about. And that's when my roadblocks were, because I didn't have any proof for that. So I'm like, okay, I need to become a certified strategist. That will show everyone. That will show me that I know enough and I can do it. It wasn't enough because I didn't have that belief in my abilities. I didn't have the sort of push through. I didn't have anything to fall back on when I was having those days where I'm like, oh, maybe not. Maybe I just won't do this. And it's only when I did that work and I sort of really, I guess, just decided to trust myself. I won't say it's quite as easy to like, yeah, I'm going to do that now. I've decided. You can, but I had to do a lot of work to get to that point. And I see the difference it's made. And that's why from that time when I'm saying, okay, I want to teach strategy, but now I've added in, okay, yes, I do want to teach strategy. It's important. But what is this strategy if you don't even believe in yourself? And that's really where all this came from in the first place, because I was going through it myself and I've seen the difference.
So going right back then to 4.5 years ago when you started, if you could give yourself one piece of advice, what would it be?
I, there's so many. I think if it's just the one piece, then I think I would say just keep on getting stuck in, keep on trying. And I mean, that's kind of what I did. Because that, as we said, like, if you make it, you don't give up. But I think I would be less worried. I'd be less worried about what it would look like, or I'm going to do this wrong. I'd say, just try, just do it. And because I've always seen the most progress when I've just tried something, and just get stuck in. And you're like, okay, right, I don't really know how to write content, but I'll just start. And then you learn. You just pick it up. So I think that's probably it. It would be stop worrying so much about what people are thinking about you, because that's really what it's about. That's really what I was scared of, is getting it wrong, people thinking I'm silly, or like, oh, really, you're trying to do that. I was so caught up in that was ignoring this voice. And I always talk about this voice that I had because I learned about business about 10 years ago now. And it only took me 6 years to actually listen to that desire to start a business. But I did eventually. And you know what? It turned out to be right. So I just listen to that and just don't worry about anyone else. No one else has got to live your life. You've got to live it.
Exactly. And do you know the amazing thing when you say about you're worrying about what people think? The honest truth in that is people probably aren't thinking very much.
Yeah, yeah. It's so
That's
true. I saw a quote like that actually a couple of years ago, and I always remember it now. Like, I kind of like my quotes, but it was something like, people aren't thinking about you, they're thinking about themselves. And I was like,
yeah.
yeah, because I am doing that like right now. So it would stand
Hmm.
to reason that that's what everyone else is doing. And if they did think about you for like, I don't know, 5 seconds, like, you've left their brain
Yeah.
already,
Yeah.
you know. And really, what's it gonna do?
What's the worst that can happen? There was a thing a friend of mine put on Facebook today, and I'm on her mailing list. You might have seen it yourself, and I laughed my head off. It's not fun. It is funny. She sent out an email to her mailing list, and there was a typo in the heading, and it was just a four letter word. But I saw it was a typo, knew what she meant, and read the email and thought nothing of it. And then she put on Facebook, I've just sent out an email to my mailing list with a typo. Oh, the shame. And then I thought, yeah, I would be mortified if I'd done that. But I wasn't mortified for her. I just,
Yeah.
just it was a
Yeah,
freaking
you
thing.
look at it at a different lens when it's somebody else.
You
Like, it's not,
do.
and it's actually funny. And this is a little bit of like what I touch on with the radical self-acceptance thing. It's like, just be a person and don't
Yeah.
worry about it, because everyone is a person. And I don't know about other people, but I actually kind of like it when people show me that they're also a person.
Yes.
Like, I left my job because I wasn't good at pretending I was a robot who could just get up and work and do whatever it is that they needed without having needs myself. Like, I can't live that way. And
Mm.
so when I've gone into business, I actively don't want to then find other robots just wearing a different robot suit. Like,
Yeah.
it's cool, you know, it is okay if you have a typo. But I
Yeah.
totally get it because I also I'd be thinking about myself, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did this. It's so embarrassing.
No,
No one else cares.
but and it's so funny for her, I was just like, oh, it was a nanosecond of whatever. But she, so what did she put? Oh, the shame. And I commented, at least everyone knows it's not AI.
Yeah, that's true.
And
Because
that was
that's a real
complete.
problem now.
Yeah, that was a completely different thing. But had I made that mistake, I know I would have been sat here rocking back and forward going, oh no, I'm
Reading it
supposed to
back
be
like
a
six
writer.
times, like,
And
oh
I'm
my
going, yeah,
God.
oh no, and everyone's going to think I'm useless. And I would have blown up. But I'm going to remember that now for the next, because I do typos. We all do. But isn't it interesting that we can completely flip that now that it wasn't AI and she wrote that herself?
Yeah.
That is now becoming a new standard. So,
Yeah, yeah. Like, actually, you should be messing up because then we know
yeah.
you're real. Like, okay,
Yeah, no,
whatever
it's
works,
just
I'll
it's
take
just
it.
reframing everything. But I just noticed how compassionate I was for her, but I never would have given myself the same
Yeah,
compassion. I would
yeah,
have been brutal with myself, and I would have mourned it for days. I would have been, I would have had a big black cloud over myself, thinking I should have known better. I've been doing this for 20 odd years, blah, blah, blah. But I'm going to park that in my brain now and remember next time I do that I'm going to have the same compassion for myself. But it's so stupid, isn't it? You know,
yeah. It is. It's. I think that's everyone. I feel like everyone can relate to that everywhere, and I think this is why what my messaging is really hitting with a lot of people is that I do talk about that just being human and that self acceptance because I'm just like yeah, but we're all like that, aren't we? Like, you
yeah,
know, I don't want to talk to somebody that's really perfect because honestly, you just make me feel bad about myself. Like, you know,
exactly. And no, nobody, and that, we talked about perfectionism earlier. I don't know where that came from or why. And it must just been this constant need to prove myself, or there must be a whole load of layers there. But it was my own standard that I was setting for myself.
yeah,
And there was no one else, no one giving me any pressure. But since then I'm a lot more compassionate with myself and I don't stress myself out. But it's just really interesting to sort of think, where did that come from? What did I achieve? You
yeah,
know, a long time, but I see it in other people, as you said, I can see it. And it's hard to kind of say to people, you don't need to be that perfect,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I just love to know what kind of drives this, but I wish that's a lesson I wish I'd learned a lot sooner. So talk about social media now. How comfortable are you going on social media? How comfortable are you with your audience? Do you do lives? Are you happy to go on stage? How do you feel about all that? What do
I'm
you
pretty okay with it. Like, I don't
think?
really do lives because no, thanks. But
We will do one
but
together.
yeah, like I mean, I would. I just don't know. It's just not in my strategy right now, but I'm not like super opposed to it, you know. I feel like six people would tune in if and that's being
Most of
generous.
the
But
time,
but
it is.
like, you know, it's
And
cool.
you know what? It's interesting. I'm better going live and just getting on with it. And if I set a camera up to record myself, that can take forever.
Yeah.
But if there's someone else, I can chat forever.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think it really
Mm.
takes the edge off actually. That's a really good reframe that I need to make a note
Yeah.
of. Is
Mhm.
because I don't really I picture it like that. Like, oh, I'm doing a video and I need to know what to say. Like, I don't really need to, do I? I'm going live. It's totally different.
Mm.
So I don't really do it now, but it's not because I'm like, oh no, I would never do that. I just don't. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't. But I'm quite confident with my posts and like stages. I've done stages before. Not in business, but I grew up in a church and
Oh,
they had us
wow.
do like speeches, I guess, talks they would call them. And I've done a number of those throughout the years. So I actually think that really benefited me, even though I
Oh,
don't
that's such a
before.
good education while
Yeah,
you're
it was really
young.
helpful. So I'm
Yeah.
really good at not turning red, even if I'm extremely embarrassed.
Oh, wow, you can teach me that. I'm used to do I can talk wherever, but involuntarily. And I don't get nervous, but you get a little bit of sort of prep. But regardless, I will still go red. And it's not nerves. I don't know what it is. It's
Yeah,
the
it's just like a gut.
spotlight thing.
I can't teach him. I don't know how I did it. It's just innate. I don't know. I was lucky. It developed, but no, I'm quite happy to speak. I just need to feel prepared, I think, and that's my main thing. But I'm especially with the post, like I've been doing it for a long time now. I know how to talk to my people, and I feel like I look at it a little differently. It's more about just meeting nice people that might have the same doubts that I did, and I'm like, do you want to work with me? That's cool. If you don't, well, that's okay too. Like we can be friends, and I'm just a bit more chill about it. So I think that helps a lot.
Yeah, oh, it definitely does. And not taking yourself so seriously, and also being ready to take some knockbacks and no's. I
Yeah,
think at the start you're just a bit like, but when once you understand it's a numbers game and you
yeah.
just get on with it, it
Yeah, because
doesn't.
that's a really tough one, I think, about social media. And I can't pretend that it doesn't still bother me sometimes. If I write a post that I'm like, that post is awesome, and then like five people look at it, I'm like, oh man, and you can't help it. It's totally normal.
But here's a thing that someone said to me, and it is true. You know, we kind of measure ourselves on the number of likes, and I know we can see the impressions and what have you. But you don't know that that hasn't resonated with someone that's
Mm,
scrolling.
yeah, and that's what you have to remember. Yeah,
Absolutely, and it's not like a measurement of that post. And sometimes, like you just said to me, "Oh, I saw your post on that," and I'm like, "She's in my post," and I'm not looking at who's liked it or who's resonated with it. But I think that's definitely a misconception about social media. We're
yeah,
placing
definitely.
too much emphasis on the actual metrics. And the other thing as well, I was telling you about what it is that I do. People are always afraid to repeat themselves.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that,
because
and
you have to, and that's
you
the
have
thing.
to.
Yeah, yeah,
And I fall into that trap myself. But that only a small percentage of your audience see something. So it's
yeah,
okay to repeat yourself. It's okay to maybe change it a little bit. But not everybody's watching what you do, and not everyone's reading every single thing. So you could post the same post every Monday for the next 10 weeks, and 100% of your audience aren't going to see that same
yeah, yeah,
post.
definitely. And if they are as well, like they obviously like you because they are really following you. So
I know that's quite good as well. And I remember once I posted in a random Facebook group, and this really threw me, but it was lovely. And I said something, and someone said, "Oh, it's Amanda. I listened to your podcast."
oh, that's so
Yeah,
nice.
that
That's
was
like
lovely. That was dead
that's
sweet.
like the best thing. That's the best
It
thing
was,
to
it was so lovely. It was really, really lovely. So that's great. So you're happy turning off social media. That is absolutely amazing. So what is next for your brand? Have you got any big plans?
yeah, I'm trying to be on lots of podcasts now. So yeah,
That's a good
but
strategy.
but I'm a part of it was because it founded from obviously I do want to grow my business, so that's a great part of it. But then I was kind of putting my money where my mouth was and saying, you know what, I have a big so for me, my wound is like a little bit of self-worth and related to that, it's being seen, and then being judged, etc. All the stuff that, a lot of people feel. And so I said, okay, do you know what? Like, I don't want to let this get in my way anymore. So I'm just gonna like let everyone see me and and just be out there. And I wrote a post about it. I wrote a post and shared that basically just saying like, I don't really know how to fix this. So I'm just gonna do it and we'll just see what happens. Since then I've made loads of progress personally and we're feeling better just from doing it.
Mhm.
But also the response I had from that post, just being like, so I wrote in it a few of my secrets. So like just stuff like nothing serious. Just stuff like I sometimes read Harry Potter fan fiction, which is incredibly embarrassing. Okay, but
That's
like I was just
okay.
like, I need to write that in there and then just put it. And because someone said to me once, sort of like the thing that you're scared about writing about of people knowing, you need to go out and write about it. I was like, oh, I don't really want to do that. No thanks. And then a couple of months later, I was like, maybe there's something to it. So I stuck it in my post and I was like, no, I really want to do this because I really want to prove in like real time to people how much of a difference this make. And honestly, like no one cared. No one cared that I read that. Also, I said that I like The Sims, and I met another Sims fan. Like all these, just I'm actually just a giant nerd, and that's the truth of it. But
You know what?
People
I'm
don't
sat right
mind.
now. I'm listening because I am fascinated. I'm thinking, what does Donna like outside of her business? And it's such an underrated thing to throw into your business. And I know that I do it, and the people that I follow, and I've got a wide circle of business acquaintances. I love to know what they're doing at the weekend.
Yeah, yeah, I
And
do. And this is why, and I kind of have to really curate my feed because I feel like not a lot of people do it. And I think only people don't do it because they're scared. And they're scared of just being
or you
themselves.
like me?
And there's
I'm
this.
so boring, by the way. I'm not hiding anything. I am just boring.
Oh, that's so funny that you said that because I wrote another post and it was inspired by this, like, the type that you see where it's like, yeah, I'm just on a beach right now and I pulled £1 million deal and it's
Oh
only
yeah,
9
that's
p.m. And I was like, okay, cool, dude. Like some of us are just at home chilling. And so I just wrote a post off that and I was like, I can't share a beach photo with a cocktail like at 11 a.m. because I'm at home. And I can't tell you that I've made £1 million and I'm traveling the world because I'm at home. Like I'm taking my kids to school. And I that was how I started the post. And then I just kind of went on and I was like, but this is where I'm up to. I've got a business. I've got my beautiful family. I make more than enough. These are my plans, blah, blah, blah. And I was just really real in the post. I just was like, yeah, that's where I'm at. And people
so
loved
good.
it.
Yeah, of
It's like
course.
one of my best posts,
Yes.
honestly. And it just goes to show, I think people are really tired of this sort of mold that we feel that we have to fit into, whatever that mold looks like, whatever we feel like we're supposed to be doing,
Yeah.
this image that we're meant to project. And
Mhm.
people just want to exist. Like they just want to, I don't know, like get their pajamas on at like 5
Yeah.
p.m. when it's like totally not acceptable and just do it. Just like enjoy their lives without feeling like they're being judged. And I feel like the more people are open about that, that we're all doing this. Like we're
Yes,
all
we
just being
are all doing this. And
human.
I kind of thought, because I spent a lot of all of my life in corporate. And when I started email marketing, I was like, right, I have to write this post about, or write this email about, I'm selling this product and this is why you should buy it. And I was totally on the sales treadmill. And I was just like, no, that's not working. And I was thinking, what do I read? What do I read when it comes?
Yeah.
So I thought, right,
Yeah.
I'm just going to write about myself. And so I have this little formula now, and I just thought, I'm just doing my own thing. So I, I didn't want to do a series, but I thought I like series because then I see that email come in. So
Yes.
my weekend email is called the briefing room because I sort of PR and comms and all of that, and I quite like the briefing room. Do you know, since I started that, I get the highest open rates I've ever had. And it just begins with my life about oh, this week it's so funny. And I was so embarrassed. And I told my husband that I did it, and he was like, you didn't, did you? And I was like, yeah, I did. Um, I
That's
talk in
always
my
a good one.
sleep. This is really bad. I talk in my sleep, but the funny thing is, and I got an app that records it, and my daughter noticed. She said, "Mummy, we can really go through the journey with you when you're asleep because I don't just babble. I actually construct sentences, and there's an actual dialogue." So this week, I put that in my email. I was just sat thinking, I thought, who does that? Who puts that in their email? But I just thought, this is
But
me.
I love it though. Like it's just a real person
Yeah,
talking to you about their real life. And
yeah.
I really think that makes the difference. Like between if I was to sort of say, okay, I need what you've got, and there's like two people, and one of them's like so boring, and I know nothing about them. I'm like, okay, maybe you've got like a great process. Cool.
Mm.
Maybe, but then I look at you and you're like, I've got this process, but I also am addicted to Dr. Pepper. If I read that, who is addicted to Dr. Pepper, I'd be like, yeah, she's the one for me,
Exactly. And I
like
clocked that about you. And I've made a little note. You put Dr. Pepper enthusiast. I
yeah.
am a Pepsi Max enthusiast.
So you
And
understand me. It's not the same drink, but it's the same
yeah,
thing.
it is. And even if you see people, you'd be like, if they've written a story and you'd be like, oh, how did you get on with that thing? Or you follow up if you
Yeah,
at an event or
exactly.
whatever. Yeah,
And it also, I think this is like not talked about very often, but it's really actually a very great strategy with content because I mean, you'll know you do content, but like the tertiary messaging, the messaging that no one thinks about, it's like the things that your people know about you, they feel like they're your friend, they feel like
yeah,
you've actually got a connection. That can make sales. Like
yeah,
you can
yeah.
make sales by doing that.
Hmm.
So it's not even just it's twofold. You get to be who you are and feel less self-conscious and less judged and just fully embrace yourself and
Mm.
therefore grow
Yeah,
because of it. Like you can grow your business just because of who you are,
yeah.
and people are missing out on that.
Mm. And I used to think, no one's going to be interested. But until I analyzed my own behavior, what I liked on social media, what I liked reading, I
Yeah.
applied those same principles. And then I was thinking, well, people are only going to buy from me if they like me, if I'm
How can
interesting.
they like you if they don't know anything about you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I just thought, you know what, this is me. I'm chatty. I'm a little bit, what's the word, pleasantly bonkers or whatever. I have a
That's a
creative.
great way. I'm a bit pleasantly bonkers. It's cool. I love that.
But that kind of pleasantly bonkers creative is the exact strategy that I apply to my methods in my business. Because I think outside the box, I come up with really unique ideas for content strategy, and it's exactly that blueprint that's all over my business, which is so
Yeah.
interesting. And I will jump in and take the risk. I'll jump in and do the thing that no one else has done, because I'll just think, oh, let's give this a try. Let's see how this lands. But that's an extension of your personality, isn't it? And it's
Yeah,
just
exactly. And then you'll get, it's like you're talking about the ideal client and who's attracted accordingly. But like part of that is you because they're going to have to work with you. And if you're a person that says, actually, no, I don't really like to try new things, then they're going to know that,
yeah,
maybe you're not the right fit. But if you are a bit more adventurous and you want to do that, then they're going to think, okay, yeah, she's great. She's going to do that for me. She's got the expertise, but she's willing to, and it all works together. It
it
all works
does.
together. We
It
just
does.
need to be less scared about being ourselves. And I know it's scary. Like I really do. I really do. Um,
But if we
but I
flip that,
think,
if we flip that narrative, it from being scary to being fun, how amazing
yeah,
would that be?
yeah. Well, I was gonna say, like, I feel like I find it really hard to explain without feeling like I'm sounding like a poster. But the difference just day to day, the way I feel when I've been able to accept who I am, even on my worst days, when I'm like, nobody liked my post, like no one's replied to my DM, whatever it is, or I'm just having a day where I feel a bit flat because I definitely have them for no reason, like they'll just come. And but the difference between that is that what I used to do is be like, I don't think I can do this. And now
Mhm,
I'm like, no, no, you've got this, you're having
mhm,
a flat day, you've
mhm,
got that self-trust
mhm.
and just the confidence of being okay with who you are and the peace that brings. Like that's what I mean when I say like I feel like a poster. The peace,
Yeah,
you can't put a price on it. And like, oh, I just wish everyone knew that that's what's on the other side of just sort of living in a bit of cringe for a bit because it's a bit cringy and embarrassing at first, and you're like, oh man, this is a big deal. This is all new. Like I don't really like it. Just keep on going because
mhm.
what's at the end? Like, oh, you'll be like, why didn't I do this?
Yes.
It's
And it
amazing.
gets
Like you
less
can't explain.
cringy. It
It
gets
does.
less.
It does.
You forget about when you first start, you think about all the things that made you cringe. And no, I don't think there's much.
Yeah,
I
I'm
can
the
get
same
over
way. I
it.
think I think back to when I tried like commenting on other people's posts and stuff, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, like what am I even going to say? I don't even know. Like, and then you do a few bits, and you're like, oh, that was terrible. Actually, no, it's not, and it gets easy. It's like it's a skill you can
Yeah,
learn
yeah,
how to.
yeah. hmm And it's genuine as well. People like it when you comment on their post.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
you build up this little group of people that you know, and you're they're interested, and then they come back on yours, and it's just that
yeah.
whole full circle. Oh, I have loved our chat. I could chat to you all night.
I know, we need another podcast episode.
So tell me, where can we find out more about you online? And I'll put all these in the links of the podcast.
Brill, yeah. So I'm on Facebook, I'm on LinkedIn. LinkedIn's probably my most active, but I also do have a free DIY strategy board, and it's basically I'm not really in the business of gatekeeping. So it goes over every strategy that you will need. I'm not saying there are no other strategies; they certainly are. But if you want to get started, or you're a bit sort of not sure if you've got any gaps or whatever, it tells you everything you need, and it's in a Trello board, so it's interactive. It's not
Wow.
like another PDF where you're like, oh yeah, I will definitely read that. Never opens it again. You can open it up, you can pick it up, you can drop. It's really great, and it's got some mindset stuff in there,
Yeah.
as well as we're talking about the self acceptance. To me, that's a key part of strategy, so that's in there as well. And the link, as you said, will be in the description. But
Yeah.
it's so helpful. I use this every single day. I use it with my pay clients, and it's really great. Have a look at
I
it.
certainly will. I love the sound of that. I love Trello as well. I use it daily. And people keep saying, "Oh, use Notion, use this." I always come back to
Oh God,
Trello.
Notion. I'm like, okay, but I need like a week to figure out how to
Yeah,
just
I can't.
wrap on there. It's so
No, it's just
complicated.
not good. But Trello's so simple. But no, that sounds fantastic. I'm going to have a look at it, and I will look at it. It sounds just what I need. But thank you so much, Donna. It's been
Thank you for
absolutely
having
amazing.
me.
I have enjoyed our chat so
Me
much.
too.
And come on again.
Yeah, I would love to. Yeah, thank you so much for having me.